Covering the Universal Orlando Resort for over 5 years, you are listening to the Unofficial Universal Orlando Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 236 of the Unofficial Universal Orlando Podcast. I'm your host tonight. I will be Tracy all night. And with me I have Darren.
What's up, Internet? Twice in a row first. Haha.
Yeah. And I have Hunter.
Hey! What's up? What's up, Trunter?
And I have Lee.
Hello, everyone. I was thinking of something,
bit...
but I couldn't think of anything, so...
You weren't quick enough.
My brain... I did all my transitions and excellent things last week.
So that's it. You're just done for the year now.
Pretty much.
Okie dokie.
It only lasts once a year. Enjoy it while it lasts, ladies and gentlemen.
So you peaked early.
No, it took me 6 years to get to that point.
Yeah, okay. Moving on. How is everybody?
Good.
Doing well.
All had a good week?
Dude,
Yeah.
well, let me tell you trials and tribulations I faced this week. I ordered some shoes online. Anyone who knows this is a horrible idea. They're a size too small, so now I gotta ship them back.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta replace them with another size. It's a whole debacle. Support your local shoe store.
Yes, I must admit I've toyed with the idea of getting myself some trainers online, and I haven't for that particular reason.
But Lee goes and buys them from the store.
And
they're still a size too small.
No, right, because
and then he just keeps them and wears them and complains that his toes pinch.
I've got two pairs of Adidas, for all you American listeners, Adidas as we call them here in the UK, right? Both a size 7. One are lovely and comfortable, the other are too small. How would you work that out?
They were made in different sweatshops.
But a size 7 should be a size 7. Anyway.
I get mine personally handmade.
By the little elves at the bottom of his bed.
Yes. Quite.
I was going to say something there, but it wouldn't have gone down well with someone, so I won't.
Right. Moving on. Right. So this week, for your listening, I can't actually think what word I want to say there.
Delectation, I was thinking.
Delectation.
Wow.
Lee swallowed a dictionary. A posh dictionary. We are giving you a top 5.
What was the last one we did? Facades. I think it was.
Maybe?
Yes, because Todd only liked me, he didn't like you lot.
Whatever. I remember. Yes. Top 5 Universal Orlando resort stores. So. Oh, and it says I get to pick the order.
Now, we need to clarify this because Hunter brought something up before we started recording. Honeydukes is technically a store, but we're going for merchandise stores, not like sweet stores or anything like that. It has to be specific merchandise.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Right. So, just so I am not accused of favouritism, we're going to go in alphabetical order. So that's Darren, Hunter, Lee, and me.
Okay.
All right.
So, we're going to go in reverse order as well. So, Darren, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is the studio store, the Universal Studio Store as you enter and exit the park. It's just got a little bit of everything in there, and it's just, that's I think consistently the one I at least walk through just to get out of the park every time. But that's the store I've been in the most, so I had to give it a spot on the list there.
That has, it's one of those stores that I think it has a real nostalgia value because I think it's one of those places that you spend like the last 10 minutes of your visit to the parks. So do you know what I mean? It's like it's that last vestige of being in the parks. You're in that store because I always remember Jade running in there to grab her fluffy unicorn when we were there that year, and it's just those little moments like that.
It's a whole suitcase to itself.
And I'm pretty sure they have some Harry Potter stuff there you can't get anywhere else, even in the Harry Potter areas of the park. So.
Really?
Yeah, I do believe so. Like the train and that kind of thing, like the battery powered one.
Okay.
With the track. there's a few items that I've only seen at that part of the store.
Interesting.
I've seen little bits of Jaws things in there that I've not seen elsewhere in the park as
Mhm.
well. Which obviously there isn't a Jaws store anymore, but you know.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Hunter.
Yes, my number 5, because I think it's a cute store, and I see a lot of kids get really happy when they go in this store. That's SpongeBob Store Pants.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'd forgotten about that one.
Yeah,
Everything's for sale.
it's just I don't think we're ever gonna get the Nickelodeon cartoons were such a big part of Universal Studios history.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all gone out, minus the parade stuff and the store. And, you know, for SpongeBob, who's literally one of the biggest pop culture icons in forever, I would say.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
up there on the level of like Mickey Mouse and Mario at this
Agreed.
point.
Yeah, I completely agree.
He's definitely got appeal, and it's worldwide appeal. It's not just, hey, the United States people, but regardless of where you're from, there's a good chance you've seen something about SpongeBob.
Yeah.
And the meet and greet makes a lot of people happy. So
Yes.
SpongeBob Store Pants, number 5.
There's some cool little photo ops in there as well, taking the meet and greet out of it, as well as Gary in there somewhere, isn't there? And there's the pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's me necessarily. I'm not necessarily looking at this for merchandising for all of them, but just about the experience. And I think
Yeah.
that's a really cool. It's a well-designed store that absolutely shills out probably thousands of dollars of merchandise every day, but it's still just a really cool little location in the park.
And it's one of the only locations in the park that you get a free receipt with every purchase.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lee. Number
Right.
5.
Can I just put my riot gear on?
Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
My number 5
Uh-huh.
is Borgin and Burke's.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
I knew I'd get some. To be
Oh
honest,
yeah, you get tons of stick.
I really like it. Do you know what? The one thing that made me put it low down on my list was the actual experience that we've had when we've been in that shop. Because the first, I expected to get some real interaction, especially, with having a dark mark. Nothing. The first time we went in, the two people behind the counter were too busy talking about what they were doing on Friday night.
And Lee is sitting there with like his arm out, like stretching.
Yeah, I did it I'll be honest, I was doing it everywhere I could.
Yeah.
But nothing at all. Like I'd heard loads of people going, they play it like the dead spooky and creepy, but like helpful, but in like a real creepy and spooky way. We never found that once in there. And I mean, when Darren, you were with us, if I remember rightly, when we went in to get Tracy's basilisk bookends.
He was driving me insane with that.
Yeah.
And he was really dragging his heels. Like, we want to check to make sure, all right. Just like, I don't care, just give me in. We need to get out, because if I get stuck in here, I'm going to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, we're required by law to show you.
Yeah. So it's just, the store itself's pretty cool. I was just disappointed with the overall experience, which is why it's not higher on my list.
My number 5 is in Zeus Landing. And it is the Mulberry Street store.
I'm trying to remember where that one is specifically. It's just along from Moose Juice, Goose Juice, isn't it? As you're coming in from Lost Continent.
It's
the one with the little door.
archway, yeah. Yeah, I don't often buy something from this store. Although last time I did buy fruit-flavoured mints. But for me, I just love having a good look around. I like to see the new merchandise and try and persuade you to let me have every pair of pyjamas I could possibly get. But they have one day I will get, they've got the figurines and
the setups
Christmas
with Mount
ones.
Crumpet and stuff, right? I was
yeah,
trying to
they are
remember which one it was.
And it's stunning. I just go in and I stroke the glass and I drool. And Lee doesn't take the bait every time.
That's the one where Jade got a little thing when we were there last time that we put away from Christmas. Is that right? The little thing doll she's got.
Yes.
That's where we got right.
Yeah. And it's one of those, it's the store in Zeus Landing that I have to visit every time.
Not cat hats and things that smells of vomit.
No, that's because it's near popcorn.
No, it smells of vomit.
It does. But that's my Zeus Landing store, and I have to go in there every time. Therefore, it's made my list, and it's number 5.
Nice.
So, number 4. Darren, take it away.
My number 4 is Ollivanders.
Ah.
Specifically the one in Diagon Alley, actually.
I don't think we've been in there.
No, we
They
haven't.
did the theming a little bit better on that. And,
Yeah.
it's set up for larger crowds because there's multiple rooms for the show, which really gives them space to do the cool effect of having tons and tons of wands and boxes, all the way up to the ceiling. As you go around a rounded area. So it's really good for the effect. And then you go into the individual showroom, you do the show, and then it lets off into a much larger wand shop than was originally there before in Hogsmeade.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just of course the interaction, seeing the person that gets picked, the interaction with them and everything. That's something you don't get at any other shop really at the park. So
No, that's a good point.
I thought that was cool and worth putting on the list for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I still remember Jade getting picked the first time. We went, all right, it was
Helped.
massaged a little bit, but that was pretty cool.
That was.
Yeah, we've never been in the one in Diagon Alley.
No,
To
I
be
don't-
honest, we
didn't do a
didn't
lot
do
in there. I don't
Diagon Alley
know
very
why.
well at all, really. I'm quite disappointed in myself as much as anything. Because there's a store that's not on my list that we haven't even been in, and when I tell you what it is, everyone will go, what the...
I remember listening to the podcast before you guys came out here. You're like, oh, we're going to spend hours in Diagon Alley alone. We're going to spend a full day in Diagon Alley. But then you realize you're celebrities and you can't afford to do that.
Yeah. That's about right.
Throngs
You
of
can't-
fans waiting.
Yeah, you can't loiter in one place for too long. You have to keep moving and changing your disguise. And
Yeah, we should have
Yeah.
literally spent a whole day. I mean, we did it. We spent so much time in Hogsmeade in 2013.
Uh-huh.
It's untrue. And you think there's so much more to get around in Diagon Alley, yet we hardly spent any time in there.
we seem to spend a lot of time just loitering.
Wandering
and I
around.
don't understand
Yeah,
why.
no.
To me, it's always felt like Hogsmeade has a smaller selection of shops, but there was not necessarily more thought put into it. But those shops were designed, and they really kind of captured the magic of Hogsmeade and the Wizarding World. Diagon Alley they're nice shops, they're well designed, but there's not anything to really keep you entertained or
Yeah.
make me want to visit those shops over and over. Darren, I'm not sure if you felt the same way. But
For some of them, for sure.
Maybe there's a little bit too much choice.
Maybe.
I think there's too many shops,
Yeah.
to be quite frank.
Yeah.
But that's what Diagon Alley is, and that's what it was. So what else could you expect?
And to be honest, with Diagon Alley over Hogsmeade, just not even going in the stores, just being like in the atriums, if you like, there is so much more to see because there's so much more detail.
Mm.
You're looking up and around and you're seeing stuff all the time. There's all the paintings on the walls and there's fake shop windows and...
I find Hogsmeade a nicer place to hang out in.
Mm-hmm. Well, you should.
I don't know why that is, because it shouldn't be. I feel like I want to hang out in Hogsmeade more.
It's not the buildings. I don't think the buildings are as tall. Or
I feel a little
so
claustrophobic.
it's maybe...
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, I never thought about
Yes.
Ollivanders.
I think it might be that because even though the pathways are smaller, it does feel a little bit more claustrophobic in Diagon Alley.
And you've
That's
got
an interesting
ceilings.
thought.
You've got ceilings in Diagon Alley.
Yeah, you've got covers over and stuff as well. Yeah,
So it's
Mm.
more
Yeah,
like
it's
an
also
arcade.
shadier.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shadier. Nocturne Alley is air conditioned, so I like those areas.
Yeah. Hunter. Number 4.
Yes. Number 4 goes out to my good friend, Mr. Brad Jost. What's up, homie? That's Jurassic Outfitters.
Really?
While it is a traditional theme park gift shop at the end of the ride, I really like Jurassic Park merchandise, and I really like Jurassic Park. So the reason this one is even on my list is my very, very first trip to Universal Orlando, which was in 2005. I was terrified. I wouldn't ride Jurassic Park River Adventure. I know. I'm a bit of a
Little
wimp.
Hunter.
But I did buy the hat, the baseball hat that said, I survived Jurassic Park the ride, and it had a scratch mark on top of it. I wore that hat probably every single day for like 3 years. So Jurassic Outfitters, number 4.
Just imagine like an adult seeing you and being like, liar, I saw your family get on that ride, you liar.
You set it out. We were there for a whole week, and I'm like, nope.
I wrote it, I know. I can wear this hat.
Sorry, Darren's got the same, the one that says, I survived Popeye and Bluetoes.
You're mean.
It's got Popeye's claw marks through the top of the hat.
Go on, Meanie. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is the Quickie Mart in Springfield. It's awesome.
Good pick.
I forgot about
Well,
that one.
firstly, you can buy big pink donuts in there. So that's enough to
Chocolate-covered.
get you in.
Bacon.
Yeah, we had that. It's a bit weird. Darren, you tried that, didn't you? The Billy, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
the thingy farmers. It's odd.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I did like the
see the
chocolate,
stuff
though.
you guys do over there. I'm kind of surprised chocolate bacon got to you.
Oh,
Yeah, but we have decent chocolate.
Yeah,
That's a
because
difference.
we actually
Yeah.
bought it in the in Orlando International Airport on the way out last time.
Uh-huh.
I've still got the wrapper in the
Yeah, it's
kitchen.
in the shelf.
It was, I ate it, but it was like, I don't really
It
know
was,
whether
yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I'm just going to eat it because I've paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
This
really.
week's episode of Hoarders, Lee's held onto a chocolate wrapper for 4 years.
I've got everything. Put
We've
it
got
this
our
way, we've
bottles
got
and everything.
boxes and stuff upstairs of every map, napkin,
Receipt.
God knows what that we've brought home from our Orlando trips.
Leftover
Yeah.
burgers.
It didn't taste that bacony either, because
No.
I've had some other like bacon products that outside of Universal now, and yeah, that one is very mild compared to the other ones.
I seem to remember it tasted more of smoke.
Yeah.
Smoke and old chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's cool.
Pretty
I mean,
much.
you want your Simpsons merch. The stuff's there. I know when we went 2013, we got those blind
I was
boxes of the
just
little.
going to bring that up, and they stopped doing
No,
them. I
because
asked.
they're
Well, I asked
cool.
last time we were there.
I'm looking at them now, actually.
Yeah, and I loved them, and I wanted to get more to try and complete
And
our
I think,
set.
if I remember rightly, I don't know whether they still do, but I know when we were over in 2013, you could get some it's like Simpsons prints, because I know Ryan had got a couple from there.
Oh, yeah.
But you've got like your keychains, and you get bought
yeah.
license plates and stuff. It's really cool.
They even
And
have
I was going to say this.
Vans, right? Is it Vans, the shoe brand that they have there? Like customized Simpsons
they?
ones?
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And they
I
have
know
a
that
press
was a
pen
limited
machine.
run. I'm not sure if they're still doing it.
I don't know.
I have to go check it out.
You think it's only
But,
a little place as well.
Oh, it's tiny, isn't it?
The
Yeah.
place deserves all the accolades just for referencing my favorite episode of the Simpsons, which is Itchy and Scratchy Land. So,
Yeah.
Bort forever.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's cool. I mean, for such a little store, it is one that I think a lot of people like. I'll be interested.
It is odd that you can't get a squishy there, though, isn't it?
Can you not?
You
Yeah,
have to
it
go.
is.
You have to go
Yeah.
across to the bar to get
That's
that.
right. Jade was obsessed with them.
No, she wanted Flaming
There was
Moors.
Flaming
It was
Moors
every
and
time I had a
squishies.
drink, I want one of them. It's like $8. I don't think so.
Yeah. But yeah, and the other thing there that was really good is those little bars that they have that are just like all kinds of random junk put together, like popcorn and pretzels and
Yeah.
chocolate and everything, just like all jammed together, like trail mix kind of.
Right, I have not seen them, but I want one now.
Yeah.
It's
Lee's
what's
going to
left at the
hold
bottom
on
of the
to it
bag,
for
so just-
5 years.
Shut up. I'll keep the packet. I'll eat the bloody thing.
Oh.
There
Right.
you go. There's mine.
My number 4. There'll be no surprise to anybody that this has made my list. You may be surprised at how low it is, but, these things happen. Port of Entry Christmas Shop.
Oh, yes.
No surprise.
No, not
Port
at
of
all.
Entry and Christmas, two of my favouriteest things in the world. And even though I go in and I complain that we've got wonky-eyed Grinches
Oh, that
and,
was horrible, that, yeah.
and the Christmas baubles aren't as good as they used to be in the past, I still have to go in and I still have to get something.
Yeah.
And it's my shop. I don't care. I've got to go in.
It's
So-
themed really well into Port of Entry as
It
well.
is. It's
so
lovely, and I just love it.
I
And
love Port of Entry.
Me too. I want to live there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Port of Entry Christmas shop.
Yeah, I am surprised that's as low as it is actually. Because it's somewhere like you've spent. I don't know. I remember
Hundreds of dollars in there.
2004 when we got our Spider-Man picture, and I had to run back to the car to put it in rather than carry him around. And you spent all about half an hour in there on your own.
Mm-hmm. Was it The last time we went in, we had a nice little discount. So I bought extra.
Oh, it's the only reason we have friends come with us.
Nobody's ever going to come and see us
That's not
again.
true.
No, it's not true. It's a little bit.
But it's
though.
nice to have
But
it.
it's not- just means we can buy extra. So right, let's move swiftly.
Oh yeah,
along.
we don't save money; we just spend more.
Yeah. Well, look at the last holiday we were there. I got to the last day, I realised I'd bought nothing. So I went mental on that last day.
Those basilisks, wasn't it?
That T-shirts and a bag, and I just came
Oh,
back
the Jaws bag, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just, and I got back and I was like, I've already packed. Where is this stuff going? Right, moving on to number 3, Darren.
My number 3 is the Williams of Hollywood Prop Shop.
Ah,
I've never bought anything from this store. I don't know if I will ever buy anything from this store, but I love going through it. It's like a cool museum of Universal.
yeah.
It's the closest we've got to it. So, and if you do like something enough, you can buy it. So that's.
I'm surprised you never bought those like bubblegum cards.
No, yeah, you can get them a lot cheaper online than what they're selling them for there at the park. But yeah, the props from the rides are awesome. Yeah, they had a lot of the Twister stuff and Disaster stuff there. They've got some really cool posters from they got some like Back to the Future and Ghostbuster themed ones. Those are also on the pricey side, but they're printed really well. And a lot of Halloween Horror Nights stuff as well. So.
Yeah. The stuff after the 25th anniversary stuff that was in there was unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some people luck out and get some good deals. I've seen people pay crazy amounts for ridiculous things there, but yeah, it's definitely a shop I like to stop by. And yeah, you do have to be careful because it is 50-50 props from Universal and just like general like vintage items.
Right.
Sometimes not even vintage items, sometimes artificially vintage items. So you just want to pay attention to the tags on everything. It'll tell you.
Oh, so it does, I was just
Good
going to
tip.
ask, it does actually tell you whether it's specific old stuff or not.
Yeah, it'll say like where it was used in the park, typically if it's a in-park item. So
I mean, it's not on my list because we've never been in there, but I know
No.
at some point
Oh,
I want to go in
yeah.
there and I want to buy something. I don't care what it is. I want something from there.
Yeah.
Whether it's I don't know, because I know they've even they've been selling. You can get like the height charts and stuff for some of the rides. That'd be awesome to bring home.
Yes, but we do have to get it home.
That's why I would just look for something small that I could get home.
You'd have to have the dimensions of the suitcase. Or ship it.
Or ship it.
Or ship it.
Or buy it and let Darren hold on to it.
yeah,
There's that.
that's my new dream job is to get to be the guy that picks what goes into that shop.
Oh,
That would be
nice.
cool. Because Darren goes,
Yeah.
one for Williams of Hollywood, one for me. One for Williams of Hollywood, one for
Exactly.
me. Oh,
Let's put this in the shop at $10.
Yeah,
It
I'll
belongs
take that.
in a museum.
Exactly.
That would be awesome. Oh, look, that one's just found its way into my bag.
Yeah.
Hunter, you're next. Number 3.
Yes. The Film Vault. Let's talk about the Film Vault. Recently, it was tweeted out, and I was going to let this slide, but this ties into this perfectly, that Universal announced a hot new thing that's going to change theme parks, or water parks, rather, while Disney announced the closure of one of their classic attractions. To that I say, Universal, dude, you've closed everything classic that you have minus E.T. So that's why Film Vault's on this list,
Yeah.
because it is a reminder of how much cool stuff was at Universal. And while we've gotten really cool stuff to replace that, there's a lot that's in the great big theme park in the sky at this point. So if you miss Jaws, you can get your Jaws merch. If you like King Kong, well, you don't even have to get King Kong, the new King Kong stuff. You can get classic King Kong, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, all that fun stuff you can get in this shop. And while it's very, very small, and there's a lot of stuff that I try to avoid shops where, like Darren was saying, hey, I could get this online. That's why like Cyber Image isn't on the list, even though that's a cool shop. The Universal stuff like the prints and the mini posters and things like that, I really, really like. So Film Vault, number 3.
Yeah. If you missed the Big Lebowski ride that they used to have there, get your Big Lebowski stuff. And It's the animal house.
You know what I liked about that ride, Darren?
Was it?
It really took me out of my element.
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
I haven't seen that film enough to know what the hell you're both talking about.
You're out of your element, Lee.
Okay. Just watch it, dude.
Oh, man.
Your turn.
You don't deserve to wear that Big Lebowski hat, Lee.
I haven't got one.
I'd just like to say I am actually ordained in the Church of Dudism.
Oh, whatever.
And I have a certificate to prove it.
Ooh.
I didn't actually realise it was a real thing when I signed up for it.
Well, there you go.
Oh.
So I can actually put myself down as a member of the clergy, legitimately.
Yes. There you go.
There you go.
My number 3, funnily enough, is the first crossover we're going to have tonight. And that will be the Film Vault.
Ah.
I've never bought anything in there. And even when we were in there last time, there was never really many people in there, but it is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It is a cool shop. I know Raymond got... they do those like weird print T-shirts. And he got...
Sublimation, yeah.
Yeah, where they're kind of like printed over the creases. So if you fold the arms out, they got like... But I like them.
It looks like it's a second.
No, I like them. Because
Yeah,
Jay
you
got
got the Psycho one.
Tinkerbell
Right?
one.
Yeah, you got a Psycho one and a King Kong one. A King Kong one, if I remember
Jay had a
rightly.
Tinkerbell one.
Yeah,
didn't
they're
she?
really cool. You got something in there, but I'm sure we will be talking about that later, so I won't say anything about it at this point. But it is cool. You know, there's some bloody expensive stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Back to the Future stuff, hey, Darren?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
But yeah, it's cool. Like, I agree with what Hunter said. It's good that they've kind of got an homage to some of the older stuff that's not in the parks anymore, that it still has a presence in there. So, yeah, that's my number 3, the Film Vault.
Excellent. My number 3 has already been mentioned. It was somebody's number 5. And you quite liked it. It's SpongeBob SquarePants.
I'd never even thought about it, to be
I
honest.
love SpongeBob SquarePants. Literally, you walk in and it's just the energy of it, and it's just looking round, and you've got you've got the screens, the interaction, that change. You've got all the little puns, goofy merchandise, and of course, as Hunter said, you've got the great character meet. You mentioned Lee you can go to the pineapple, and it's just. I just find it so much fun in there, and
SpongeBob, it's awesome.
it is. I love SpongeBob.
The price tags on everything. I like that.
Yeah, and it.
Like everything.
Yeah, and I could probably spend quite a bit of money in there. I usually buy a few daft little things.
It's such a shame that the park never jumped on SpongeBob and did something bigger in the parks than just that. You know, when it was really popular, because I think like a SpongeBob ride or something, an area could have been phenomenal.
The new
I tell
water
you, the
park is a big
placement-
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you, the placement of it makes me really feel like at one point, like E.T. was almost going to go for it.
Yeah.
And then Steven Spielberg stepped in on that one.
Yeah, maybe.
Just where it is in proximity to it
Yeah.
and everything. I just think it would have worked really well. So
It does kind of just feel lumped there now.
yeah.
It didn't make an
No.
awful lot of sense, did it? I know Nina was when she first sort of came on the scene and was listening to the show, she was very much I want a Krusty Krab in the
this is
parks,
it.
and it's like, I can't believe they still haven't done it.
Probably because it's
Yeah.
literally right next door to where you can get your your Krusty Burger.
Crappy.
You've got a Krusty Krab and a Krusty Burger.
Yeah, I suppose.
And it's you're right next to another burger joint, so that's probably why. If it had been possibly,
Yeah, you've got Mel's just down the road, haven't you? And then
I'm just thinking if it had been maybe a bit further into Kids Zone or something like that, they could have done more. But like Darren says, I suspect there was more in the works, and it's just been.
It's the same. You look at the same thing with Despicable Me. I don't think they expected Despicable Me to do as well as it did, and they just chucked that ride overlay on Jimmy. I think he said
Neutron.
Jimmy Fallon there, Jimmy Neutron. I think if they'd have realised Despicable Me was going to be the behemoth that it was, they might have done a much bigger area, like they have done over in Hollywood with Super City Funland and stuff. And I think if you could have like Kids Zone, do a half SpongeBob and half Despicable Me would have been brilliant.
Well, you could have an area that's Sandy's treehouse, because she has her whole home in that dome, doesn't she? You got the chum bucket and just go jellyfishing.
Yeah, it would have been cool.
I want to go jellyfishing. You could have a bike ride, like a self-powered coaster, because if you remember from SpongeBob...
You mean E.T.?
No, but you power it yourself.
Yeah, I think that kind of leads into what Darren was kind of talking about. I think it might have been.
Because when you think about the bikes in SpongeBob, they're more like fins and propellers. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame that. You have jellyfish and things. Oh, you could have a little driving thing. Mrs. Puff's driving school with the boats.
I have no idea what you're talking about at this point. I obviously don't know SpongeBob as well as I thought I did.
It lends
itself. You can
also
also have.
Much.
I mean, even if they didn't want to do all that, they could change the bikes into those like beach cruisers, like bright colored beach cruisers, like kind of like the Pee Wee Herman style looking bike, and that would fit in quite well with the ride as well.
See, we knew where there was a SpongeBob ride, the screen ride that fit in with Universal's planned
there
screen
was
ride.
Funny, actually, yeah.
The
Flamingo Land, our local theme park, they used to have a SpongeBob 4D attraction. And it was just like Shrek, but without the bouncy seats. But it was actually really good.
It did have a few little bounces on the seats.
Yeah, but not like Shrek does.
And bubbles had come out.
It was awesome. I remember taking my mother. My mother was blown away by it because she'd never done anything like that. She didn't stop talking about it for about 6 months after.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know whether... I'd forgotten about SpongeBob SquarePants, but I don't know whether it would have made it onto my list anyway.
I'd love it. It's just fun and full of energy. So... Right, so on to our number 2s.
Hunter might be coming back. His power's on. He's going to...
Okay. Well, while we wait and find out, Darren, tell us about your number 2. That sounds terrible, I know.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Hey! The Hunter returns.
All right. Well, my number 2 is Borgin and Burks. I think it's got some really excellent theming. The items in the cases are some of the coolest things at the park.
Yeah.
I can tell the Horror Nights crew had a little bit of input in the theming there. So I really like those. When it first opened, that was definitely my favorite place to photograph in Diagon Alley when it first opened. So the items for sale there are kind of more what I like there, like the darker side of Harry Potter and that kind of thing. So all the way down to the lighting in there, like that like orange yellow lighting, that just makes everything look like a little bit more antiqued is just really. So yeah, all in all, yeah, it's a little tight. That's one thing I'd change about it is probably make it a little bigger. Because when you get stuck in the corners there, it can be really, really bad. So, but yeah, all in all, and I like too that when you step out of it, no matter what, it's always nighttime. It's always like the perfect scene for it. So,
yeah, no, I agree. It is a cool one. Like I say, it was just our experience in it that dropped it down that low.
Yeah, and the hand, the hand definitely gets the honorable mention on that one.
I've played about with that.
Yeah. Cool. Hunter.
Yeah. I love standing there waiting for it for a little bit and then walking away. And then somebody else is bound to see you and then go over there and get scared by it.
Yeah.
Where are your basilisks?
That's what I just asked you. They're obviously packed away for Christmas. I just don't remember where I packed them away. I know. I'm very good at tidying up like that.
Anyway.
Yes. Hunter, number 2.
Number 2. Can't believe that Darren stole my thunder. It's Borgin and Burks, to the surprise of no one. Just Nocturne Alley as a whole is probably the best part of Diagon Alley. Just period. It's better than the ride. It's better than any of the other theming. It's better than the dragon. Just really well themed. I love that it's always nighttime, like Darren just said. But as far as the store itself, it just has some of the creepy stuff that we haven't seen within the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Sure, we've gotten interpretations of dark magic on the rides, and we kind of got a little taste of what Borgin and Burks was going to be when we had walking through the was it Professor Ben's classroom? No, it was the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Forbidden Journey, which it was kind of the precursor to this, if you want to view it that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, with all the stuff around the outside, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so really cool, just really well themed, and if you kind of like the bad guys of Harry Potter, that's the place to go. I love the cupboard, especially. The cupboard's
The
fun.
vanishing cupboard.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that because? Oh no, the actual one's in the ride, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm sure the one that's in
Yeah,
the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom is actually the one from the films.
Mm.
wait, is
Oh,
that
really?
is it that, or was it the chalkboard?
Oh, I'm not sure now. I'm going to have to research that. I thought it was the Vanishing
Yeah,
Cabinet.
But the vanishing cabinet in Borgin and Burke's, if you listen,
Oh yeah.
you can hear a bird.
Yeah,
Little
Like
bird.
that.
I think the one in Morgan and Burke's is the legit one.
Okay.
And then I think it's the chalkboard.
And
Snape's chalkboard is the one in the Defense Against the Dark Arts room that was actually used in the movie,
mm,
if I'm not mistaken.
cool. He's looking very studious.
No, I'm just trying to find out. So continue while I have
Well,
a
it's
look.
you.
Hugh,
You.
what we on? Number 2?
Number 2.
I've just actually switched my number 2 and number 1 round.
Oh, me.
It's Hunter's fault. Hunter, my number 2
Yes.
is Cyber Image.
I wondered where
Is
that
it
would
really?
make a list.
Yes,
Make it on
look,
your
I
list.
know you can get this crap elsewhere, but for
Yeah.
someone that doesn't really go out to buy the type of stuff that's in there,
You should have just stopped at go out.
to walk into somewhere like that in my favourite theme park and see stuff
Yeah.
kind of related to the park I'm in is awesome.
Yeah.
It's just
Yes.
such cool stuff.
Because little hologramic graphic, whatever you want to call
Oh,
it.
the glasses. I've
Sunglasses.
forgotten about that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I tried them on. I've actually got a Walking Dead hoodie that I got from there. Shout out to Thomas Wagner
going
for
to
buying
say, I
a
think
very
he's done the
expensive T800
Head.
endoskeleton
Yeah.
bust thing. It's phenomenal.
insane. Yeah, and I can't believe Tracy let you buy that Wonder Woman statue.
Yeah, I might have done now if I'd have been over there. It just speaks to the geek in me that, like I say, it's not somewhere that we don't have a lot of shops like that in this country, really. So to
I think
go-
it's just different because Darren and I can go up the road to like an FYE or somewhere like
Yeah.
that just sells all this, a Hot Topic or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And but if you don't have a place where you can get that merchandise, it's a good hub for all that. I see what
Yeah.
you're saying.
true.
It's cool. There's some awesome stuff. I've never bought a lot in there. It's just a cool shop to sort of wander around and
It does have good
look at.
aircon.
There's some cool stuff. So yeah, that was my number 1. I've just changed it.
Oh.
I thought what now my number 1's a little more appropriate. If I'd have put that as my number 1, I'd just gone, what the hell? You can buy that crap down the road.
Hell.
My number 2 has been mentioned previously. Twice in one go.
Film Vault.
'Tis the Film Vault. As I said, it's a small footprint. It's, for all it's small, it's very light feeling. You know, there's a lot of light in there, so it never feels claustrophobic.
No, not at all.
It's just my childhood.
Yeah.
In a store. And you all know Jaws is my favourite movie. I had to have my Jaws bag.
Where is that?
In my wardrobe. Or under the stairs. One of the two. Somewhere. Safe. It's with the basilisks. Somewhere.
It's in the Vanishing Cabinet.
Yeah, probably. I could go mad in that store. I really could. You know, one of each t-shirt, all the bags. You know, next time we go, I really need a purse to go with the bag. Yeah, it's
Did
just.
you have one?
It was just another big purse, and I didn't really want another big purse. It's just really cool in there, and you know, just there's everything Back to the Future stuff, and as we've said it all, you know, Jaws and just everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's like classic posters and stuff. Because Jade was flipping through the poster racks, and all the classic posters are up there, and it's just fabulous. So it's my number 2.
Right, the Vanishing Cabinet in Borgin and Burke's is a recreation.
Okay.
Eric and his team recreated the Vanishing Cabinet that was featured in the film Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. This piece took 6 months to make and stands about 12 feet tall inside Borgin and Burke's. Can't find anything about the one in... Yeah, so we'll keep looking.
Okay.
Now I'm wondering if there even is one in the Defense Against the Dark Arts room.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh.
Wasn't it in the room of requirement? The other one, the twin.
It was, but
yeah, they don't have a room of requirement. Don't know. Right, let's move on to our number ones. Yay!
Woohoo.
Yay. So, Darren.
we haven't had a lot of crossover so far, really, have we, to be honest?
Not a ton, except for right now. Funny that you mentioned that. Let's keep talking about the film vault.
Yeah, we all like. I think everyone would have put like every penny they owned on this being your number one, Darren.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like Back to the Future? Do you like Ghostbusters? Do you like?
Yes, we've got Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Do you like just like everything that I like? And Blues Brothers, that they're represented in there as well. It's definitely one of my favorite places, and some of the stuff there, actually, believe it or not the high end stuff, but some of the smaller stuff is kind of the same price as it is standard retail. Like some of like the little Back to the Future figures that they had, like the Kenner style ones. And then with my discount for annual pass, actually made it cheaper to get them there than anywhere else. So
That's cool.
every once in a while, if you keep your eye out, you can get a pretty good deal there. But yeah, I've got a lot of stuff from there, from that store. I've spent a lot of money. We've got a wall full of those posters that you guys were talking about. If they would make a Back to the Future throw rug, I would definitely buy one.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they don't have one. They have a Breakfast Club one, but why not? Why
That's
not
weird.
have one? Yeah. Yeah, my backpack that I bring to work every day is the Ghostbusters Proton Pack
Which
one.
is cool. That's
that's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, it's so cool.
So, yeah, definitely my favorite park in the store, and one I absolutely have to go to every time I'm there. So,
Yeah,
Cool.
that's not a surprise.
No, not at all.
yeah. Yeah, and when Nina was living there and we were going there every weekend, we knew the people that worked there, like on a first name basis.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like, just walking in, like, hey, how's it going? They're like, oh yeah, no new Back to the Future stuff this week. Oh, okay.
That's cool.
What's up, Ted? How you doing, Ted? Jess, nice to see you.
The actual desks and blackboard from the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom movie set are also at Hogwarts. So yes, Darren, you were right.
That is cool.
It's just that makes sense because that's kind of blocked off, and you don't
Yeah.
have a whole bunch of sweaty tourists coming up and rubbing against it. A piece of cinematic history. It is surprising we do have the originals with the Warner Brothers Studio tour, though, so that's
Yeah.
really cool.
That's true.
I need to go back.
You
down
figured
there
we
as
would have
well.
got the reproductions eventually.
Maybe they split it and there's the mixed.
Mm.
You don't know.
That shows how invested Warner Brothers are in the Wizarding World of
Oh,
Harry
yeah.
Potter and Universal. Then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hunter, number one.
Yes. Number one, I don't think you can discuss Universal Orlando shops without one thing instantly coming to mind. And that is
Hello Kitty.
Ollivanders.
Ollivanders,
Hello
well.
Kitty's up there too. Ollivanders is number one just because it truly transcends your traditional shopping experience because it is a full theme park. Well, I'm going to use the word again. It is a full theme park experience instead of you just showing up and buying your product. It is a very, very magical component of the Wizarding World, especially when it first opened. I mean, look at the wait times and just look at the sheer amount of traffic that it drove in. But specifically here, I'm talking about the Ollivanders edition. They were able to correct a lot of the mistakes, or excuse me, the Diagon Alley edition.
Yeah.
They were able to correct a lot of the mistakes that they had over with Hogsmeade and get a smoother operation running. And the actual shop interior is fantastic, especially if you're a big Harry Potter fan. A couple days ago, we actually just said goodbye to John Hurt, and that was actually always one of my favorite scenes in the entire Harry Potter series is when Harry gets his wand.
Yeah.
So Ollivanders is a very sentimental location for me, but I think even if you're not a Harry Potter fan, there's a lot of magical stuff in there, and you'll find a special memory to take home with you. So Ollivanders, that's my number one.
I feel quite shallow now that they'll give a little bit away that it's not on my list. But yeah, you're right. It
We
does.
haven't been in that one.
No, but not even the one in Hogsmeade, and we waited
It's
at
tiny.
least
it's
an
just-
hour and 20 minutes to get in that thing, and got told off because we knew someone who could have got us straight in.
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes you have to stand in line. It's part of it.
Oh, it wasn't part of it.
Anticipation.
It was horrible. We watched like half a dozen people buy butterbeer and take one sip and dump it in the bin. And the thing is, the queue for the one in Hogsmeade doesn't. It's like out and round and behind a big
No shade.
stone wall thing.
Yeah,
It doesn't. It's a
boring.
horrible place
You could have had Wizarding
because
World
it goes
posters
like
up and things.
down the side of it and then round. There's like I think there's like a big pillar or something there, and then there's that weird like pin cart.
I would wager within the next 5 years, Ollivanders and Hogsmeade shuts down. They put something else there and just keep the true Ollivanders in Diagon
It
Alley.
would make sense. I'm
Probably.
surprised they didn't do it when they opened Diagon Alley, to be honest. That's pretty much what they did with Zonkos
Yeah.
and Weasley's Wizard and Visas.
Visas.
Yeah,
These-
they probably just need to disperse the traffic a little bit. But
Yeah.
because the Wizarding World will slow down eventually, I think they'll utilize that space for something else.
Be interesting to see what they do with it. Actually, they need a Madame Puddyfoot if that's the way they're going. You know, they want like highly themed food and drink areas. A Madame Puddyfoot would be awesome in there.
Yeah.
Like a little Wizarding World tea shop thing
Yes.
would be cool.
I'll run it.
It would be awesome.
Expand it out to very highly themed, intimate restaurant.
Yeah.
Maybe reservation only if you've got to do it that way. But the other locations, Leaky Cauldron and Three Broomsticks, are cool. But I think a lot of people would rather have a place with more theming and
Yeah.
a little bit quieter, somewhere that they can go. And I think Puddyfoot's fits that.
With a higher quality of food. I'm not saying the food in the Leaky Cauldron and the Three Broomsticks is bad, but it's not amazing.
It's theme park.
No, it's quick service.
Yeah.
They would do better to actually have a sit down restaurant or cafe or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Lee, number one.
Really, I know I said I switched these round. This probably should have been my number one anyway, but my number one is the Spider-Man shop.
Oh.
Up until very recently, Spider-Man was my favourite superhero.
Uh-huh.
And up until riding Forbidden Journey for the first time, the Spider-Man ride was hands down my favourite ride anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. I mean, it literally
works.
left me speechless the first time around because we'd never done anything remotely like that before.
No.
And now it's, everything.
10 a penny.
Not 10 a penny, but you look at everything that's come since Spider-Man is a kind of variation of that ride, one way or another.
Which means you should stay true to the original.
You know what I mean, though? Like, obviously, Transformers is pretty much an exact copy, but then you'd even look at something like Gringotts is... It's taken that 3D ride experience to a whole new level, and now it has become a theme park cliche, and that was the one that started it all off. But that store, I have spent so much time in
We
there.
have been in there a lot.
There's not many trips where I haven't come out having not spent something in there. I mean, I've gone through God knows how many of those Spider-Man key rings with the little
the
Spider-Man
spinners.
that spins around because they keep snapping.
Yeah.
I think the first time we came back, I had the Spider-Man T-shirt where it's like a red T-shirt and it's ripped away at the front with the Spider-Man costume underneath with a padded six-pack. The Hulk one as well. So I think I'll put this... it's a cool store if you love Spider-Man. It's awesome. But for me, it's as much a nostalgia thing. It takes me back to those first couple of trips over to Orlando as a store that I spent a lot of time in. So that's my number one.
Nice.
My number one.
I have no idea.
No? Might surprise you then.
It's the Christmas shop in Universal.
Nope.
Opposite Transformers.
Nope.
Oh my God, I've just realised one that I haven't got in. How the hell did I miss that?
Well, that's what I was expecting.
The
FE.
Jimmy Buffett gift shop.
No, I've no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. That's what I expect your number
We'll
one
have to
be.
go into
That'll be honourable mention then.
honourable. I've got a couple of honourable mentions, but I know what. Is that what your number one is?
What?
FE?
No.
No, right, okay.
No, mine's B&B.
Really?
Morgan and Burke's. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the second I stepped into Nocturne Alley, I was home. I've always, from being small, I've always liked the darker side of things. I've always rooted for the villain, you know, and it's just so. I mean, okay, it's really dark in there, so that you don't have. There's not as much detail in the theme, but it just the atmosphere is great, and you get to this shop that's notorious in the books, you know, and it's tight quarters and everything, but the whole place just has this atmosphere because it's dark and it's dingy, and like Darren said, it's got that orangey yellow light that gives everything an antique sort of glow to it. But you could spend a good couple of hours in there and not see everything. There's so much. It's like we have antique shops, like proper old-fashioned antique shops over here, where everything's just jumbled together.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I say there's like little props about and cool things, like say what is the hand called?
The Hand of Glory.
The Hand of Glory. You know, and so many things I could buy. I agree. The staff really need to get in character.
They didn't. I've heard plenty of people say that they normally are. I think we must have just caught them at a bad time.
Well, you know, but
I've had them like one off in there, like every once in a while, like asking like how much the mask was. Like, and the first guy just like looked at me and was like, "Well, if you have to ask, you can't afford it," you know, and just like walks away. And then like somebody else tells me, "Okay, it's this much."
yeah.
See, I'd want that experience though. That would be cool.
Yeah, but it's like that, like one time out of the you know,
Maybe.
almost 100 times I've been in there. I'm
It's
sure.
a shame.
Yeah. You see, officially I've been sorted into Ravenclaw, but unofficially, when they've combined them, I'm actually a Slytherclaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's right. So I like
Smart
that.
and evil.
Absolutely. So watch out. Yeah. So yeah.
That was a good top 5 because there wasn't an awful lot of crossover.
No,
Yeah.
there wasn't really.
I
was keeping notes
some
of
serious
everybody's.
honourable mentions and one that's just popped into my head
Yes,
and I was
let's
like,
go
how
with
the
them.
hell?
Should we go same order for
Yeah, you can do.
Darren? Have you got an honourable mention?
Well, I'll give it to the T2 store, like Lee said. I bought a few things in there too, so gotta give it to that one.
Cool. Hunter?
I don't really have honorable mentions. I think I picked the ones I like the best, and that's that.
Cool.
Sorry.
No, I like that. Lee?
I love Filch's Emporium.
That's what FE is.
It's it can be an absolute cluster just because of everyone coming out of the ride and
Yeah.
stuff, but the stuff in there is awesome.
I like
I'm
that.
going to go for one that I was going to put this there because it was a temporary. I toyed with the idea of actually putting it in my top 5, but it was a bit of a cheat because it was only a temporary store. But the Halloween Horror Nights 25 store that was in
I was just going to say that.
was
Yeah.
fantastic.
I was going to say that one.
Arguably
the props and everything.
best store
Yeah.
at Universal ever. It was fantastic.
We could have easily spent a fortune in there.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
didn't go last year, but it was put together a lot better than the one they did last year. So
I've seen
Yeah.
videos and stuff of the one last year, and it just looked like a generic store.
Yeah.
it was just a little too tight in there and
Yeah.
a little just too dark for the sake of it, and you know, and pretty much they just had the statues up. So
Yeah, I mean, there was stuff in that in the 25 store that they'd had from the first year we went on in 04,
Yeah,
so it
there
was
was.
cool to see
Yeah.
that stuff. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then one that's just popped into my head, I can't believe, because I love it as well. I don't actually think I've ever bought anything in there, but the Vault, the Transformers store is
Yeah, you
cool.
have
There's some
bought
awesome stuff in there. I
Twitch-
don't think I have. Oh, I bought a key ring.
You not buy a t-shirt?
No.
I bought a t-shirt.
Transformers one.
Yeah, I've got a purple t-shirt.
oh, I have an
It's small
evac
at
from
the
there.
moment.
I had to get the evac transformer from there. So
The kids have both got one. And I think Raymond's, Jade or Raymond, one of the two's got a Bumblebee. I always wanted
I got all the press
the
pennies.
messenger bag. The black
I told
one
you
with
to
the
buy
purple.
it.
It was bloody expensive. It was like
And?
$60 odd.
And you only go there once.
right?
That's what we tell ourselves every time we go. It's once in a lifetime holiday.
But there you go. That's my.
Yeah,
they're
for
my
me,
honourable
I've got
mentions.
Filter's Emporium. I discounted it because I didn't want 2 Harry Potter stores in my top 5. I was trying to not repeat types of stores, which is also why the Universal Studios Christmas store didn't make it. It's not. It's a great store. It's not as good as a Port of Entry one.
Yeah.
I think because you don't come out into Port of Entry.
Uh,
You know,
Very true.
I just love Port of Entry. Any of the hotel stores, is that classed as resort or not?
Yeah.
Because I really like the Hard
the
Rock.
Hard Rock one. I knew you were going to say
Yeah.
that.
I could have spent ages in there browsing properly.
We
The
spent
staff
quite
were-
a bit of time in there.
Yeah,
actually.
and the staff are brilliant in there.
Yeah.
You know, some real in-depth conversations about music and tattoos and all sorts. It was,
Mhm.
you know, and they seemed genuinely interested in what I had to say. And that means a lot rather than just being like generic, oh yeah, just,
Yeah, just give me your money and bugger off.
yeah. Because I seem to
Yeah.
remember it was more, we had to kind of start making excuses to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, because
You know, 'cause
we
it
were
was
heading
genuine
in the past, weren't
conversation,
we?
yeah. I could have bought drumsticks and all sorts for there.
Because Raymond got
Yeah.
Ellison, didn't he?
Yeah. Instead, I just stuck with limited edition pins,
Mm.
even though I weren't collecting any this time. And I've just found a bag full.
I did allude at the very beginning of this to a store that we haven't visited, and as the Harry Potter fan that I am, I'm still mortified that we never ever set foot in Weasley's Wizard
I
and
know,
Wheezes the last
it's
time we
just-
were there.
that's
just
I
shocking.
don't understand why.
To be honest, looking back on that whole week, there's a lot of times I look and I think,
What did we do?
where were we?
I've no idea. I think we mentally we were all in not particularly great places at that time. I think that
I think the problem was we have an entire week here,
Yeah.
and we just got complacent. Rather than cramming as much in, we just went, oh, we've
we were
no hurry.
tired as well. That didn't help. I wasn't
know.
sleeping. So that's the only time I've been to Florida and never got over onto their time. So I was waking up at 4:00 every morning.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I never got over onto US time, so I was always on our clock. So I would go to bed and sleep solidly, but then wake up at what my body thinks is 9:00 in the morning, but it wasn't.
Whereas I go the other way and I just stay up because I'm a reader, and then I can't get up in the morning.
Anyway, but yeah, we've never an excuse to come back.
Yes,
In
2019.
Yeah.
You heard it here, which has just made me realise that when we decide on a month we're going, it's not long until we can actually book it.
The thing is, the main reason we're not coming out in the next year or possibly 2 is
We're skinned.
financial. It's not skin. We're just our
No,
our
we've gotta be
finances are
careful.
going through a major transition. So 2019 is hopefully a point where everything should be. It's going to be what it's going to be, and we should be able to.
So it
far
all rests
too
on
long
my
away.
shoulders then, does it?
A lot of it.
Thanks.
If you're allowed in our country at that point.
Well,
This
there
is
is that
true.
as well, or allowed. Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, it might be
interesting.
better off waiting until
No. 2021.
20 or 21.
I'm not waiting that long.
Oh,
You can do what
Although
you
we
want to me.
might not have to.
No, we might.
No.
You
Anyway.
know, we might not
kids.
have to. So,
There you go.
so I enjoyed that.
I think it's one
That
of
was-
those top 5s we've done where it's not an obvious choice for what your top 5. Like you go attractions or facades or drinks or whatever. You know, everyone's going to have the same sort of 2 or 3 in there. Whereas this, it was all over the resort.
I'm surprised nobody mentioned the Mummy store where you can buy chains on the roll, and
That's a
it's just
terrible store.
it is just like the crap you can buy in the outside the pyramids in Egypt.
that is the only store we can buy traditional dashiki in all of Universal. Though, so there's that.
I don't even know what that is.
Is the African modern? I mean, the African formal wear
All right.
ones
Okay.
that they had in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dresses.
Dresses.
No.
Anyway,
Yeah. Well, I guess that's going to do it for show 236.
I guess Borgin
So-
and Burke's is officially the UUOP's favourite shop, is it? And
I
kind
Might
of
would
have to
Film
say
Vault.
probably Film Vault with number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I'd
you're
go
right
with
there.
that. I did
Cool.
number 5.
Ollivander should be up there.
No, you're right. Actually, Ollivander's realistically,
we-
when you look at it as an overall thing, yeah, Ollivander's probably should be number 1 because it's much more than just a store.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. So, right. Well, thank you for sharing your top 5 with everybody, me, and the world.
The world.
Well, yes,
It is the world.
it is the world. We shall have to come up with another top 5 soon.
I've
that
got
was
loads
fun.
of them in the bank.
I'll get them out the bank and we can do it. Right. So that's going to do it for this show, and we'll see you next time.
That's it for another Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Make sure you never miss a show by subscribing on iTunes, and while you're there, please leave us a rating and a review. Listen to us on Stitcher, Google Play, and all your podcast apps. Email us with any questions or comments to podcast@uuopodcast.com, or even better, record your message at speakpipe.com/uuopodcast. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest, keyword UUO Podcast. Check out our blog for even more content at uuopodcast.com. Well, that's a wrap. See you next week.